Okay. And as far as you're more powerful than your problems, you're more important than your problems, right? So the second to last step in that equation is you can find a way to move on from your problems. You absolutely can find a way to move on from your problems. I know for me, this was always one of the biggest things that I had to overcome. This was always a roadblock that I had to go over. And a lot of that came down to the belief that I wasn't going to be able to get over it. I wasn't going to be able to recover, right? So we'll just maybe take some sort of injury. Maybe you messed up your knee real bad. Maybe you're a basketball player or you're a football player, whatever the case may be, and you messed up your knee real bad, right? And I'm not saying it's ever going to be exactly the same. I don't think that's possible. That knee is now compromised. That knee is now injured, right? But it doesn't have to stay injured. You can find a way to absolutely move on from it. You can find a way. And it's not as simple as to say, "Oh, it's going to get better and I'll go back to what I was doing." Maybe. Another way to look at it would be to say, "Okay, I've hurt thy knee. Maybe I can't do that movement again. Maybe I was doing some footwork a certain way and I twisted it and I can't do that again. If I do it again, I'm going to rip it again." Maybe that was what you were meant to learn from that situation. Is to say that the way I went about that movement, that maneuver that I did was what caused the problem. And you're going to say, "Oh, well, the guy next to me can do it." Okay, you don't have his knees. Neither does he have yours, right? So, or if you say, "Well, I got to be able to do XYZ to do my job." Okay, maybe it's time to find another way to get towards that destination. I mean, so like if you say that you got to go left to right to get whatever done, maybe you need to find a way to get it done going up and down, right? So, just to rewind, so you're saying that the guy next to me is still able to perform that exact movement, the same movement that injured me. That's fine. He doesn't have your body, neither do you have his. He doesn't have your set of knees. You don't have his set of knees. Your set of knees are the ones that got messed up. That's the ones you got to focus on. Don't really worry too much about what he's doing with his situation. He's working with his hand of cards, as are you. So worry about how you're going to play your cards. But with that being said, if the objective is to perform the exact movement, then perhaps you can't do that. Perhaps it is time to find something else to do. Perhaps it's time to find a different way to spend your time. If that's the case, that you have to perform an exact movement, maybe the movement itself isn't what's required. Maybe it's the impact of the movement. Maybe it's the effect of the movement. Because if you're saying that I need to play some defense, you can say, "Okay, listen, playing defense and using that maneuver is the one that got me hurt. Okay, I can't do that, but let me see if there's another way I can do this. Let me see if there's a way to go around it. Maybe I can go another way. Maybe I got to zigzag a little bit." But if the objective is to play defense with whatever's effective, as in the guy in front of you is not getting past you or whatever the case may be, if that's the objective, then you need to find another way to do that. So, what does that mean? So, what that means is that you need to ask yourself, what's required of me? Is the exact way of doing it is what's required of me, or is the outcome of what I was doing is what's required of me? If you're in a situation where the outcome is what matters, you can find another way to the outcome. There's always another route to take. There's always another road. There's always another path. It doesn't matter if the highway's busy. Get off the highway, go find another way to get there. And you say, well, the store doesn't have what I need. Go find something else in the store or go to another store. So, like I said, if you're in a situation where the outcome is what's required of you, find another path to the outcome. That's what I mean by moving on. You can move on from your problem. It's not going to be the end of anything. You can adjust from your problem. You can find a way to learn from your problem. You can move on from your problem. That you can say, okay, I am going to now do what I did in a different way. Or maybe I'm going to do something entirely different. Maybe rugby club isn't for me. Maybe I need to change and maybe I need to join quilting club. Nothing wrong with either club. But you can move on. And moving on, it's going to look the way it's going to look for you. Not the way it's going to look for me, not the way it's going to look for him, not the way it's going to look for her. It's going to look the way it's going to look for you. And that's the best part about it, is because you get to move on in your own way. You get to own your problems. That also means you get to own your victories. And you get to own your recovery. Those are two great things. Owning your victories and owning your recovery. So, find the way, find what that looks like for you. And then you can move on. It's not, you're going to find something else to do with your time, I promise. I've spent a long time, especially in my adolescence, assuming things had to be an exact way, that everything had to be laid out a specific way, that I needed that sitting over there, I needed that sitting over there, I needed, this amount of food, I needed this amount of sleep, I needed that person to call me, I needed that chair over there, I needed that song playing. Okay, yes, those may be true in that moment, but maybe you don't need that song playing. Maybe you can rearrange your desk. Maybe you can be a little tired and still get your tasks done. Maybe, just maybe. So, like I said, guys, part of owning your problems, part of being more powerful than your problems is finding a way to move on from your problems. Find another way to move on with your time and your energy so that you get done what you want to get done, not what your problem wants you to get done. All right, guys, see ya.